welcome back to another episode of things we're going to do here. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm still using this book, Classroom in a Book, um, it's kind of like at the point where I'm not going to follow it directly because it sort of uses assets that you have the files for it, and I'm going to sort of just create the assets in a slightly different way. Now I should see if I could remember what I was actually. Isn't there a way to double click on some of these things? Let's find the one that is closest to the one we want, which is I'm looking for a teal color. Right. I actually remember the hex code, so I'm just going to put that in because it's that, right? So that's going to be our first circle that we're going to do. Again, I'm slightly like modifying what it actually says in the book. This bit is not in the book, but it does have these sorts of things. And then what I'd like to do is have a smaller circle. So let's get the smaller circle, like about, it's in relation to the size of it, it's probably about, uh, I often do that. If that's basically happens if you release in the wrong order. So I'm trying not to do that. Okay. And the fill of this one, I'm kind of like trying to think about like how I'm going to, I'd like to change the brightness of it. Let me just go into the actual proper colors here because otherwise we'll be here all day, right? So it was definitely one of these ones, right? Yeah, it's closer to something like these ones here. I'm going to go for something like it's a little bit more. Yeah, that'll do. I think just going to the Pantone ones is probably the easiest way to do it. All right, so the little box that passes over. So if we go across, that box is saying there is artwork under the pointer, and that's kind of clear to see, right? When we just hover and move our pen across like so. So when you hover over something, the object has a color outline. And you can see that, right? There's blue. It's quite thin. I did actually do something with the anchor points. I changed them to be bigger, so that could be fun. Now it says move the pointer over the edge of the large green circle. And of course, we're going to see the word path appear like here. And if we go there, we can see anchor. And I think there's for a circle, you can see, I think there must be 4 points. There's 4 anchors on the circle. And I think you can actually see that, right? If we did that, and then you can see it that way with the subselection. But that's actually the next section. So the color of the bounding box tells you which layer the object is on. Okay, so then because those bounding boxes are the same size, we can tell they're on that. You could actually go to layers, right? And you can see they're both on that. But again, getting ahead of ourselves on that. But that is useful though. The color of the bounding box will say what layer it's on, so that's a useful thing to know. Clicking anywhere inside the larger green circle to select it. Okay, so we'll just pretend we didn't. All right. A bounding box with 8 handles, yep, 3 on top row and the bottom and the 2 in the middle, with 8 handles appears around. All content shows a bounding box selected and can be used to do resizing and rotating. Okay, so obviously we've got the resize there, the rotate there. Drag the smaller circle onto the larger circle like you see in this figure. Okay, so we'll do that. I did make it a little bit big to be honest, but not to worry about that, it's fine. Pressing the shift key, click in the larger circle to select it as well, and then release the key. Okay. So we've done this already a little bit. Okay, so we've got 2 selections. You actually see the center points of each circle, can't you? Which is interesting because yeah, it's because I made them so big, the anchor points, that you can actually see that. I couldn't see it before. Drag either circle down onto the dark grey rectangle to move both. Okay, so we haven't actually made the dark grey rectangle. So let's just do that. I'm going to put it just somewhere random. So here is our dark grey rectangle. Looking at the scale of it, it's probably about somewhere about that size. And we'll do a dark grey. We'll just use let's see, this one. Maybe one shade lighter. Select our big circle, and then that one as well. Now, as you drag, magenta lines called alignment guides and grey boxes next to the pointer called measurement labels. So let's try and sort of really like analyze what's going on here. So the magenta lines are basically has to do with the smart guides, right? So we have the intersect there. So that is basically the intersect point. It does say there's an intersect point there, though. The grey boxes next to the pointer called measurement labels. So, oh yeah, that's just the rounded box, yeah. And it basically goes fairly near the top here, somewhere like that, right? I imagine I should probably have removed the stroke from the box. Or I could just send that to the back, right? Probably looks a bit better. It's basically supposed to be a joystick. It kind of, yeah, it's not quite the same as the picture. Yeah. Okay, so that is that for that section.